Welcome back. The special primary election for the County Council District 5 seat is less than 2 weeks away. In the next coming week, CTV will bring you exclusive interviews with each of those candidates. And joining us in the studio today is candidate Theresa Mitchell Dudley. Ms. Dudley, thanks so much for joining us.
I'm honored to be here.
All right, so why do you want to be the next council member representing District 5?
Well, I believe that I bring the most experience of the candidates of working in the community. For the past 34 years, I've worked in the Landover vicinity and in District 5. I love this area so much. I actually just bought a home not too long ago because I want to see the work that I've been doing over the years come to fruition. And working on education and public safety and economic development have all been a part of that. So I feel that I have the most experience, I have the most on the boots working with people, and I know the budget. Every year I have to watch them and make sure they put the right amount of money in for our schools. So I have really focused myself on this community as a place to live, work, and do business, and we deserve that.
Absolutely. You have a lot of experience working with the teachers union and within the educational space. Right now, Blueprint for Maryland's Future is facing a lot of challenges. What are your thoughts on those challenges? And if you were to run in be elected, what are your plans for the Blueprint?
That's a good question. Well, for the past 10 years of my life, I've been between Annapolis and all over the state working to make sure that the Blueprint was passed. We had to go and get Larry Hogan to we got the veto so that now the Blueprint is in place. We put a lockbox around the money so they can't use that money for casinos or anything else. The biggest issue for us in Prince George's County is making sure that our county services are in alignment with the Blueprint. Right now, some things are a little disjointed, that especially with Department of Health and Human Services, where they provide wraparound services. But I do think that we have the potential for greatness. I think we need to change the narrative about our schools because no one's talking about the posse scholars that are coming out of Prince George's County, where our students got nationally recognized to receive full tuition scholarships. So we've got the Blueprint, we've got a great base, we've got a great community, so let's just make it better. I want to change the narrative and talk about how good our schools are, how our educators are working and doing more with less every day. So that's the main reason why I'm running. Is about the schools, and we can talk about public safety and economic and commercial development and those types of things as well.
Absolutely. So right now, the county's facing a $170 million deficit. How would you address that deficit without cutting some essential services?
Well, it's not just a matter of do we have the money, it's do we have the will to put our money where our priorities are. Clearly, the aging infrastructure of our school system is someplace that we need to invest. Addressing the teacher shortage is something that we need to address because there's a reason why Amazon went on the other side of the river. And we need to make sure that we change the narrative about our schools because when the schools became desegregated 60 years ago, a lot of the people who didn't want busing moved out of the county. They said, oh, the schools are bad. Why? Oh, yeah, then let those black children move in now. And that sort of echo of that stays with us. But we've got to claim it and say, no, we're not going to put up with that anymore. This is how we are going to fund our schools. 60% of our budget does go to public education, and we need to maximize that. Maximize the community college and our students that can get free education there so that they can become teachers. And then they can go to Bowie and the University of Maryland, maybe spend a year doing public service at our school system to help justify us paying for them to go to school. You shouldn't have to be thousands of dollars in debt to do public service.
So clearly one of your most pressing issues is education. What are some of the other issues in the county do you see as pressing that you would address?
That big sinkhole over there, Landover Mall. When when they built the stadium, we were promised economic development, all of these wonderful businesses that it would attract to Prince George's County. I live less than a quarter mile from Landover Mall, and I'm still looking for the economic development. Our community deserves better economic development than the dredges of economic development that nobody else wants. We want businesses and economic development that's going to improve the quality of life for the residents. I've done that. I've worked with the Landover vicinity where we improved Metro Point, Overland Apartments, and Capitol View Mutual Homes. We even got sidewalks up and down Landover Road. Remodeled the post office. We have a lot of things that we can do, but those basic core services that we want, everybody wants that. Everybody wants to live in a nice neighborhood.
And speaking of economic development, what is your plan, or do you have a plan as far as bringing better economic development into the county?
Well, the first thing we have to do is work on the narrative about our schools, and the narrative about crime in the county, because we've got to make sure that we hire enough police officers, and right now we are short several hundred officers. The money is in the budget to hire the officers and to train them, but the hiring process for police and fire is so antiquated that we never have full classes, which is ridiculous. So we've got to start with the schools, public safety, and economic development that makes sense. So if we do that, that will improve. And when I say economic development, I don't mean build more homes. Let me make that clear. Where are the schools when you're building 5,000 new homes? You got to make sure that your adequate public facilities are met. And the rampant residential development has taken away a lot of that. We need more commercial development that people want to go to. I hear people talking about how they got to go here, go there to get service. I mean, I shop in the county. I eat in the county just for that reason, because I don't want other people getting our money.
And my probably final question on affordable housing. Right now, an average home goes for about $400,000. What is your stance on affordable housing, and how would you move more affordable housing into the county?
Well, we have a lot of affordable housing here in Prince George's County. We have a lot of houses that are abandoned and vacant. Making housing affordable has also to do with the financing and making sure that people can buy a house. I just bought my first house 3 years ago, and it was a lot. It's a journey. Housing being affordable for educators is important, for firefighters, for our basic service folks. So we have to look at all of the affordable housing. Seniors, people on limited and fixed incomes. It's a very complicated issue that it would take me an hour and a half to go through a long conversation. But I'm very concerned about it because my house was $400,000, and I'm a teacher. And I'm telling you, I'm scrambling right now. So we all have to do what we have to do to make sure people stay in their residence.
All right, Ms. Dudley, thanks so much for joining us today.
No problem.
Well, the special primary election will be held on March 4th, so make sure you tune in next week as we introduce another candidate, Ryan Middleton, only on CTV News.